Hi, it's Nikki here from Happy Hormones for Life. And today's Lunch and Learn, I am talking about getting some quick clients through the door. Now, in an ideal world, obviously, we want to be putting the foundations in place, all of our foundations, so that we are constantly attracting um, new clients and we're getting consistent leads in every single week. Now that's the ideal, and to do that, you need all 9 foundations that we teach in the foundation program, because if you don't have 1 or 2 of them in place and working for you, then that can really sabotage or block the amount of leads you're getting. Now, if you have the 9 foundations in place for the long term, and you're consistently doing them or getting them or optimizing them, then you don't have to chase clients, they come to you. That's the whole point of getting those foundations in place. So once that's established, like I said, you won't be going chasing clients anymore, they'll just come to you. That's what happens to us. We don't go out chasing clients, they just come. We have automatic lots and lots of inquiries every week. And then we convert those into clients. So that's what you really should be aspiring to if you're not there already, in terms of client attraction. However, sometimes if you haven't got those 9 foundations in place, or some of them aren't quite right or aligned with what you're doing, or a global pandemic hits us and suddenly upsets, maybe your foundations aren't very strong, they're a little bit wobbly, and then something like the coronavirus comes along and upsets it, then you can find yourself like, oh my God, the client inquiries have dried up, I don't have any clients at the moment, I need money coming in. What do you do then? So today's session is just about how do you get some quick clients in, how do you make some money when the cash flow isn't coming in, and something's not quite right. Okay, short-term kind of fix. So first thing to do is ask your network, right? So we are very reluctant to ask for help sometimes. We all have friends, family, and an extended support network that are wishing us or wanting us to do well and desperate to help us, and most of them are. So, but we don't ask a lot of the time because we feel like we're too polite. We don't want to, upset anybody, or, maybe ask for help because that may sound a bit weak, like we're maybe not doing as well as we thought. Forget that. This is a time of you need to be hustling. You need to be getting the money in. So pride out the door, doesn't matter. Ask your friends, family, support network for help. So send them an email, or even better, write them a little note and send it in the mail, post, saying, hi, and personalize it. Every email should be personalized. Hi, so-and-so, in case you didn't know, this is what I do. I help, and then you do your pitch. So we've talked about the perfect pitch before. Who you are, who you help, and what they're struggling with, and what's the outcome. So I help women over 40 who are struggling with perimenopause and all those symptoms, and I help them to feel better than ever. Do you know anyone that you could use my help? Because I'm really on a mission this year to help how many 100 women by the end of this year to get to have a better experience of their menopause. Why? Always good to put a why in there, your big why. I'm passionate about this because I know how debilitating these symptoms are, and if we can get women feeling better, how much that has a huge ripple effect on everyone else, and that's why I do this job. Right, get your mission in there, get some passion in there, and ask for referrals. First one. Secondly, make sure your social media personal profiles say what you do. Now, I don't know how many times I've looked at NT's personal profiles, and they don't show anything about what they do. And this is a big mistake, because what happens is, you see me, by the way, I'm not getting a picture on here. So if you're watching and you can see me, just pop in the chat. It's all good. Anyway, so I check people's social media. So why is that important that you put on your personal profile what you do? Because when you engage in any posts on Insta or Facebook, you're engaging as your personal profile. Actually, on Instagram it might be different, but on Facebook you only engage as your personal profile. So if you're giving some value and or you're answering someone's question and you're giving value, and people are like, oh, who is this who is this lady? Maybe she can help me. They're going to click on your profile and it'll go back to your personal profile. Now, if you don't say what you do on there, you've lost them because they don't think, you know, you've lost the chance of somebody working with you. So that's why it's very important. Okay, now this is where it can get a little bit uncomfortable, but if you've got no clients, you're going to have to get a little bit uncomfortable. I always recommend people go on their personal profiles. If you've got, you know, if you might have a business page on your social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and you may not have very many followers. So if that's the case, then you want to go onto your personal profiles where you've got a lot more followers and you want to do some videos on there. I know it's just, oh my God, video. I said the word video. Now, you don't have to do video, but that's going to be the quickest way for you to get clients. So there's ideas for some videos. It's not all about content. In this case, I want you to actually, you know, get direct to the point. Why do you do what you do? So tell your story, share your mission if you have one. You know, I want to help 100 women this year to whatever, and do that on video. And it doesn't have to be very long. It can just be a minute or 2 or 3 minutes. Really get a concise story in there. That, and then at the end of it, say, do you want to be one of the 100 that I'm helping? Something like that. Okay, get them involved in your mission, your vision, and give them some background on you so that they know who you are and why you're doing this. Right, that's one video idea. The second video idea is showing who you help. So get some case studies or testimonials. Right, the first thing is a testimonial of any client that you've helped. Get there, write a paragraph what you think happened. Don't ask them to do the testimonial. Just write down a summary of what you think happened. So what did they present with? What were they struggling with? How you worked together and what the outcome was. That's all, and how it changed their life. Okay, that's all you need. Just a very short paragraph. You need their photograph. So send them that short paragraph and say, hey, so lovely to work with you. Do you think this is an accurate description of what went on? Would you be okay if we use this as a testimonial? And can I take a picture off your website or your personal profile and add it to the thing? Because obviously it helps for people to see that you're a real person. Would that be okay? And they say, of course. And most clients really want to help. If you've helped them, they want to help you back. So get that as a sort of quote template. Put that on your all your social media platforms. You can do a little video with it to then just describe what work you did. Or even better, if you can get them on Zoom and just do a little interview with them. I've done a few of these and they work really, really well. So just ask them a few questions, you know, what did you come along with? You know, why did you choose me? What did we do together? And what were the outcomes? Really powerful to get a conversation going. I don't know how many clients have come through the door and for us that have said, oh, I saw that interview you did with so-and-so and it just resonated with me so much I had to call, right? On each of your videos or posts, you need a call to action. So call me, message me, post in the comments, whatever it is, share, whatever it is you want them to do, make sure you put it on every single piece of content. Right, we are up to number 4. If you know any other practitioners with a similar audience to you, so for me, menopausal women, I'm looking at, you know, anyone that's dealing with that. So coaches, osteopaths, acupuncturists, anybody that's herbalists dealing with menopausal women, I need to be talking to those people and asking for referrals because you can be able to reciprocate and do the same thing. So get to know these people, get to build relationships with them and refer each other. So that's the other one. And if you've got connections with people like that, give them a call. If you're desperate for clients, give them a call and say, hey, do you know anyone that would be interested, and get in touch, right? So that's a quick way of doing that. Now, this was a bit I'm not sure about, but I think as CNHC members, if you're signed up to a CNHC, I read somewhere recently that GPs can refer their patients. Now, again, you need to check this if this is you, but if this is true, then get in touch with your local GP surgery and offer your services, especially if you work with chronic conditions, things like diabetes and yeah, even menopause, right? Because GPs are, you know, in 10 minutes, they can't deal with chronic conditions, we know. So get in touch and see if you can help. That's, you know, I would say that's, you know, probably maybe one of your last resorts, because you can't necessarily charge that much, but give it a go and see what happens if you're desperate for clients. Now, next thing is get in touch with your old clients, people you've worked with before. Maybe way back, it may have been recently. Do they need a review? Do they need a retest? Do they want a half-hour kind of review session, which you can charge, half your hourly rate for? Whatever. But these are people that have already know and like you, and they've already seen what the wonders of what you can do. Right? Now, next, follow up with old inquiries, people that didn't book as clients with you but got in touch with you. So maybe you'd sent them an email saying, do you want to book a call? Or maybe you'd even had a call with them and they've gone away and not come back. How many times did you follow up with those people? Sometimes I see people who haven't followed up at all because they think they don't want to, they don't want to be a burden to these people. These people are really busy. They've probably seen your email and just go, oh, I've got something so to do. I've got the lunch to make. I've got kids to pick up, whatever. So they probably haven't remembered that they've got to get back to you, right? And life goes on, and they are not sitting there waiting for us to email them. So you've got to follow up at least 3 or 4 times. If you've had an inquiry and they haven't booked a call, ask them if they've got their help they needed. Do they still need help? Then book a call. If they've had a call with you and decided not to work with you, you can get back in touch and say, do you still need help? Did you get the help you needed? Because we're still here and still available. And just say, and if they come back and say, oh no, I didn't, or they didn't answer you, just go back and say, hey, do you mind if I ask you why you chose someone else, or why you didn't do it? So then you're getting a little bit of feedback as well. But follow up. Amazing how many clients you can get just from following up. Next thing you can do is run a free challenge. This is a really good way. I know it's a bit of work to set it up, and it's and it's very visible, but a free challenge on Facebook or Instagram can lead up to an offer. And what's great about a free challenge is I'd keep it really short. 5 days is plenty, because that's a lot of work for free. Get their emails, get them to sign up. And so you can send them emails with the challenge each day, as well as doing it in a group or Facebook. You can do pop-up Facebook group. You don't have to, keep a Facebook group forever. You can do a pop-up one for your challenge. I've seen that really work. And keep it really simple as well, because people haven't got time to do lots and lots of stuff. You don't want to overwhelm them, because what we want to do, we think we need to give lots of value, but actually, that's just going to overwhelm people. They're not going to bother. So keep it simple. And then at the end of the challenge, you make your offer. Whether that doesn't have to be an online program or anything fancy. It can just be, I hope you've got value from these 5 days. If you'd like to work with me or go deeper on these issues, I do a free 30-minute call, or whatever it is you get, however it is you get them into your client base. Okay. Networking, the next one. Get networking as much as you possibly can. Get into the Facebook groups where your ideal client is hanging out. We've done the ideal client work. Find out where they're hanging out. Get in those groups. Add value, build connections. Instagram, the same thing. Engage, offer value. And then at some point, those people will see and notice you and go, oh, who is this woman who's offering so much value? I wonder how I can work with her, right? Next thing is get consistent with your content. No good kind of just being ad hoc and random with it. You've got to have a strategy. We talked about repurposing last week. So, and I talked about weekly content. If you're not in front of them every single week, you're not going to be front of mind when they're ready to work with you. So important now when more and more people are online as well. Get the content out weekly. Now, video is best, but you've got to be blogging weekly. It doesn't have to be an assignment just to get a blog out, because blogs are the things that get people to your website, and that's really what you want. And make sure you repurpose every piece of content. Go back to the repurposing video I did last week and look at how that's done. If you have a lead magnet, which is a free gift, now's the time to invest in Facebook ads. Now, it might seem counterintuitive, that's the word, to kind of spend money now if you haven't got clients, but absolutely you need to if you haven't got clients, because that is where you're going to get people into your community. So if you have a lead magnet, not much point advertising if you haven't got a lead magnet, unless you've got something else like a book or a course that you can kind of get them into a video page or something like that. But if you've got a free gift, you should be investing in Facebook ads. Now, haven't got time now to talk about Facebook ads, and I'm not probably the best person technically, but I think they are incredibly useful, and the only way to really truly build your list. So lots of Facebook ad courses out there, lots of technical expertise on Facebook ads. You kind of got to find the right person, and that's not me, but I can certainly direct you in the right place if you need help with that. Next idea is to ask to guest blog on relevant sites, so relevant websites with your audience. Obviously not competitive, any other NTs that are doing your niche, but other sites that may have your target market. So if you know your avatar inside out, then you'll know roughly where she's kind of hanging out, what kind of sites she might be interested in, or he, and ask to guest blog on those sites. It might be kind of supplement sites, or it might be fitness sites, or yoga people, or whatever. Get asked to provide a blog. Most people are very open to that. If it's good content, make sure it's really good. And then exactly the same with podcasts. So podcasts where your ideal client might be listening, hanging out, make a list, get in touch with the people that run it and ask to be a guest. Make sure when you ask people for that kind of thing, you are making it worth their while. It's all about them and not about you. It's not about, I want to be on your podcast. It's do you think your audience would like my content? I'm going to be telling them how to do this, this, and this. I think it would be perfect for them. What do you think? Kind of thing. It's got to be something in it for them. Otherwise, the podcast host is going to go, well, who is this, and why are they, promoting themselves? Next thing is, if you've got any corporate contacts, send them a list of topics you could run a webinar on. Now, corporates are not obviously doing talks at the moment, but they've got tons and tons of employees potentially working from home, potentially trying to keep up their health, keep up their immune support, hormones, all the rest of it. So email your contacts and say, look, these are the topics, all right, and have them on your website as well. You need a page on your website that says these are the topics I talk on. Obviously, at the moment, we're doing webinars. Oh, and by the way, going back to asking your friends, family, and support, make sure they know that you now work online. Now, if you're not working online, you actually haven't got a business, right? So tell your friends, family, and support network and everybody who asks that you work online, because so many people think that, maybe are assuming that because you're a therapist, you have a clinic and you're not, everything's stopped and not working anymore. Make sure you tell them you do Zoom calls. It sounds really obvious, but it won't be obvious to everyone. Okay. Last two ideas: run your own webinar. So if you've got Zoom, you can pay 30 quid, I think it is, for a month's worth of Zoom webinar function, or you can run a meeting. Now, the difference between Zoom meetings are free, I think, up to a certain amount of people. I think it's 100. But meetings are when obviously you can see who's in the room with you. So you've got the screen full of people, and that's fine. You can still run a webinar on that, obviously. And if you've got a smaller community, that might be really nice to to interact with them, and it would be like a sort of little meetup. The webinar, by the difference to a meeting by running a webinar is the webinar, you can't see the faces of the attendees. It's just you. You can share your screen and do a presentation, but they are just attendees, and then there's a chat box so you can see their names when they start to chat. So it's a bit more anonymous. It's obviously less interactive. They're interacting on the chat, but you're not actually talking to them like you would on Zoom. Okay, so you can run a Zoom meeting. So you could actually advertise. So recently I did a menopause evening, couple of hours, charged £27 for it, included my book. So I sent a book out, but you don't obviously have to do that. And you could get people to buy tickets for it, and it would just be like running an evening workshop. So that was an evening talk I was going to run in London. I just put it online, and people still bought tickets. So brilliant. So I had about 20 people on a screen, and I did obviously muted everyone, did my talk, and then got everybody unmuted, and we all had a really nice chat and a Q&A. So that is a really lovely thing to do. If you've got a local community, you can get some friends to tell other friends and just run a little webinar, little meeting in Zoom. That is really nice, because that's a really good way of sharing your content and getting people involved in the conversation. And after an hour or two with you, they're going to be very, very warm and much more likely to book a call with you and become a client. And lastly, you can start your own podcast. I've done a lunch and learn on podcasts before, so just scroll down the page if you want to know more about podcasts. Really, really easy, so easy to start. You just need a couple of things in place, and you can chat away. Now, if you're a chatter and you like to talk to people one-on-one, that's a really good medium for you to just get your stuff out there. And it might not bring quick clients, but it's a way of you sharing content that's maybe not on video. Hope that was helpful, and do put any in the comments any other ideas that I've forgotten or things that have worked for you as well, which would be great. And obviously subscribe to the YouTube channel, because then you won't miss one of these videos. And I hope to see you very soon. Take care.